Hi, everybody. This is David Oleski with the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show 5 o'clock club, broadcasting live from the home office in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Today we have one of our exhibitors, Limor Dekel, is going to be joining us. It's been a exciting week. I don't know about you, but I've been on pins and needles all week. I'll tell you, that daylight savings time, that was like hard to adapt to. I mean, that just that hour shift is like, I feel like we're living in the dark ages now. And maybe that's the shape of things to come, but we'll see about that. Here, she's uh, very exciting. Hi,
Hello,
Lamar. How are
how you
you?
doing?
I'm good.
Good.
So, how long have you? Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live?
I live in Maryland and Rockville, city of Rockville, which is about 10 miles north of DC.
Oh, yeah, I know Rockville. Yeah, it's nice. Um, have you always lived there when you were in this country in Maryland? I was looking at your bio. You,
Yeah. I lived in Anne Arundel County for a while in the first few years, and I've lived here in Rockville for 29 years.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
I
For a while.
actually went to Maryland Institute in Baltimore.
Ah, okay. Micah.
Yeah, Micah. I had a really great art school experience.
Yeah, it's a nice
So
school. It's a
it
nice
is.
school.
It's yeah. I mean, not having reference of not having gone to another art college, I don't know. I found teachers that I felt were really teaching me what I needed to know, and I thrived on that course of study. So for I got really good use out of it. It made me the painter I am today.
I've taken some summer courses as a teacher there, and I really like the vibes of the place. Baltimore. People think of Baltimore as just you live there, but it had it had the nice creative vibes. From the short time I was there, so it was
Yeah.
fun.
It's a cool little part of Baltimore. And it was fun to be in school there because there wasn't really a campus at that time. So you're just in the city,
Yep.
just fending for yourself while you're going to school. So it was,
Yeah.
had to grow up really fast.
And they when you were there, did they have the art festival there on in July or whatever? Art.
They started that right at the very end of me being in school. And
Ah, okay.
that was my first view of what an art festival is. And I just thought, oh, it's like a craft show. This is not something I'll ever be interested in.
Yeah,
So that's why I never even considered it for, 20, 25 years,
yeah.
even to,
It's changed. I mean, it's a really fun place. The whole area just transforms. I don't know if you've been there
oh,
since
yeah.
that,
There's a
but
train station right in the middle of the campus
yeah,
now. You could commute from way outside of town. And, and some things haven't changed, like the Mountain Royal Tavern. Um, so parts of it haven't changed, but the brown building, the big glass building, and of course now there's student dorms. They've really taken over a lot of Bolton Hill.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
but
Baltimore's changing. My daughter lives in Fells Point,
uh,
so I visit Baltimore frequently these days, and it is transforming that whole area, that south part, not just Fells Point, everything moving
right,
north from there. So it is. It's nice to see. Nice to
yeah,
see.
yeah. I well, when I was there, you could buy a waterfront one of the derelict buildings for $1, as long as you promised you would invest in rehabbing it and bringing
Yeah.
it back. And of course, I was just a kid, and it's like that goes over my head. But all these years
Yeah,
later, it's the most expensive real estate there is.
that's right.
But so, your experience with the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show, how long have you done the show?
I've done it. for 1 year this year.
Well,
So this is
just
my
have
first
you
time.
done it once, or have you done it both?
No,
Both times.
I only did the fall because I couldn't do the spring. I had to travel at that time. So yeah, I did it this fall, and and it's definitely a very different kind of experience. So from other shows that I've done. So
Yeah, yeah. We like to. Yeah, we pride ourselves on trying to make it unique and hopefully unique in a good way, as far as good connection with the audience and whatever we can do to try to make it nice for the exhibitors. Did you
well,
enjoy
I
it?
just think I just what I think is nice about the show is it's run by artists and things are done in a way to help the artists, and it's obviously well established and the community knows that the show is there. Um, but and they have the students in there, which I think is really nice too. And it just feel like you're part of a community of artists, not just promoters putting out a show. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
That's a good little
uh,
sound bite. I don't know if Sharon Strine is in here listening, but that's a great little sound bite to. It feels like a community of artists.
yeah, it's run by artists, and you get the sense that we're not just there to uh, make money. We're there to be artists and to uh, teach other students as well, because there's a huge number of students there. And I don't know, there's just that that small difference.
Yeah, it makes me look at all shows differently when you realize what you could be bringing to the show, whether it be as options to for mentorship or just your involvement with the directors, with having a say in some of the decisions that are made. That the shows always seem like these inaccessible edifices. But then when I've been working with the Rittenhouse show, I'm realizing you can talk to any director of any show and make an impression. Talk about understand why they do what they do, and talk about what you like and what you'd like to see
Yeah,
changed.
it's true. And also Philadelphia. I've never been to Philadelphia before, and I mean, I've been to Philadelphia, but not as in a show. So I think the thing with Philadelphia is a lot of people are worried about it being inside the city and all the challenges that you get from being in the city, and so I realized it wasn't that bad. So
So
and
yeah,
people
a
were
question
helpful.
just came up. What was the start of the options for mentorship? Well, with the Rittenhouse Square show, we have students from the local art schools, and we help them to get set up to set up their display and to bring their work, and then we have awards, which are just basically like gift cards to different art supply stores, and it's recognition and just an ability for them to hopefully get started doing an outdoor show and meet with the professional artists and understand how this could be a viable income. But that being said, I think young people are wired differently than adult artists, because I've talked to students that were having a really good show and selling things, and I said, "Well, what's next?" And they said, "Well, I'm probably going to start looking for a job now that I'm graduating." And it's like, why do you think you're here to learn about this? This is instead of looking for a job.
Well, David, let's be realistic about the art world. Even though you go to art school and you want to be an artist, sometimes it takes a while to get to where you want to be. So having some kind of an income to take away from the pressure that you need to make a lot of money right off the bat, that may be something that is not such a bad idea. I don't
Well,
know.
to a point. I mean, I had, yeah, I worked in construction right when I started doing the outdoor shows, and very quickly I reached a point I have to make a choice that is either I'm spending all day on a job site or start making inventory and get
Yeah,
busy with
yeah,
thinking about the business. And it was it was just a maturity and taking it more seriously, which only
Yeah.
comes from being a little bit older, of
Yeah.
how it can be a passion, but as soon as you put the brush down, it turns right back into a business. And you try to always be learning how to make it a better business.
That's true.
Um,
It's but the learning curve is long. You know you gotta find the right medium that works for you and for the buyers and stuff. So
right,
yeah. So I just feel that jumping right into the art world, unless you have somebody to support you and while you're learning the business. I mean, any business, even if you start any kind of business, there's a few years that you have to put in some investment of money that you had before the business starts running and being smooth. That's why you have investors in startups.
right. So the question came up: Is this these? Is this only for students? At this time, yes, it's only for students. We actually talked about expanding the mentorship program to emerging artists, not just student exhibitors. Which, yeah, we're limited with space for our show, but there's other shows I'm involved with that they have expanded their emerging artist program to just artists that, might have been professionals with galleries, but want to do the shows. And they're, older and more mature, and they sign up for these emerging artist programs. So, but at this time, the Rittenhouse Square show specifically is just for the students. Here we have other questions. Oh, yeah, the David Calloway art. He's interested in learning to make it a full-time thing. Well, I mean, nothing's stopping me. Right now, all of the applications are open for all of the summer events, spring and summer events. So just to, figure out what the application needs are, the big central database is application.org. So you want to get on that, start learning your way around, make a profile, and just see what the requirements are to apply to the events. And a lot of it is trial by fire. That you just get any display together you can to show up. And the very first show you do, you're going to learn so much about what else you could be doing, but you're not in a place to learn that from a distance. It's only when you're actually immersed in it that you really, it all makes sense when somebody's suggesting things to streamline your system. But
The interesting thing about this business is that it's so different for everybody. You know, um, every every artist is doing things differently, and what works for one person may not work for another. So that's the learning curve that has to take place, is what works for you, and where is your audience, how to sell, which is something that is a whole different thing,
oh
is
yeah,
how to sell your art. um, you know, I that's one thing that I think a lot of artists are struggling, because we just, I've been mentoring, teaching students for many years, and been an artist. I was a ceramic artist before, and a painter, and now I'm doing 3D. Um, Selling your art is difficult
well,
because
yeah. I
nobody
mean, because
teaches
it's
you.
it's personal, and
Yes, yes.
you know,
It's personal, and but trying to sell the art to somebody who's interested in your artwork is you have to learn a lot about their end. And how do you buy art? we
right,
we rarely do that as buyers. We don't, because we make art. We don't often go, and we're not art collectors to go out and buy art from
that's
galleries.
right. Well, and there's also just what it is you do. Some work is, I don't want to say easier to sell, but some people have like the Midas touch that what they love doing is really attractive, and everybody is just really wants to buy it.
Mhm.
And and not that they don't have bad shows like anybody, but some people just do really attractive work all the time, and the trajectory is only consistently up for them. But then there's a lot of people that are still trying to figure out, what to do that is appealing. And, like myself, I try different colors. I try to reinvent myself in different ways, and you're going to kick out a few clunkers here and there, and you don't know until you follow through and frame it and hang it and, give it an entire wall and let it be seen by the public for several events, which, you're basically investing thousands of dollars of display real estate for that one piece just to try it to see if it has appeal.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you don't figure that out until after a long time.
Yeah, and everybody's a little different, like some people don't mind doing the same kind of work over and over again. The thing that sells well, and you
Right.
see them doing the same thing over, the people who have the Midas touch, and
Right.
they sell well, and they found the thing,
I'm
and they don't mind.
guilty of that. I know I'm guilty of that. I have things that it's like painting a mortgage payment. It will sell. And, and
Yeah,
just, why wouldn't you do that? You can find ways to make it challenging, find ways to make it be an improvement of what you've ever done before, but there's certain things they're just always going to sell, and it is a business. And we can't just be purely creative and not really care about um, the business part of it.
that's true. So, but sometimes people make the decision that they're going to do things differently, and by doing that, they know that they may have to go through the challenges of trying, new things and see how that works.
Right.
So, yeah,
So we just got
yeah, that,
we just got majorly derailed here. I want to bring this whole thing
yeah,
back to you,
sorry.
Limor, because this is why you're here. So more about you. This is your first time doing the show and your first time spending any substantial amount of time in Philadelphia. Did you have a time to enjoy the city at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was exhausting because of the hours, and it's 3 days. Um, but the whole area there is just really nice. The whole Rittenhouse there is just a